The year 2025 has ushered in a new era of global trade marked by uncertainty and escalating tensions. On April 3rd, the United States, under President Trump, announced sweeping tariffs on a vast array of imported goods. This decision sent shockwaves through the global economy, raising fears of a full-blown trade war. The tariffs represent a fundamental shift in U.S. trade policy, with potentially far-reaching consequences. Major trading partners condemned the move, vowing retaliation. The interconnected global economy means disruptions will have ripple effects, impacting businesses, consumers, and financial markets worldwide. As countries engage in tit-for-tat tariff battles, the very fabric of international cooperation is being tested. There is growing concern that this trade war could spill over into other areas of global governance. The world watches anxiously, waiting to see if cooler heads will prevail or if this trade war will escalate further. To understand the motivations behind the U.S. decision to impose tariffs, one must delve into the resurgence of economic nationalism and protectionist sentiment. The Trump administration argues that the U.S. has been taken advantage of in trade deals, resulting in massive trade deficits and the loss of American manufacturing jobs. The America First policy emphasizes protecting domestic industries and bringing back manufacturing jobs to the U.S. The administration points to the significant trade deficit with countries like China as evidence of an uneven playing field. They argue that unfair trade practices, such as intellectual property theft and currency manipulation, harm American businesses and workers. The tariffs are seen as a necessary tool to protect American interests and force other countries to negotiate fairer trade deals. The decision is also driven by a desire to revive the U.S. manufacturing sector, which has declined in recent decades. Tariffs are believed to make American-made goods more competitive by increasing the cost of imported products, encouraging domestic production and job creation. This focus on revitalizing American manufacturing addresses economic anxieties and appeals to those feeling left behind by globalization. Critics argue that protectionism is misguided and will ultimately harm the U.S. economy. They contend that tariffs are a tax on American consumers, leading to higher prices for imported goods. Furthermore, tariffs disrupt global supply chains, raise costs for businesses, and could lead to job losses in sectors relying on imports. The debate over tariffs and their long-term impact on the U.S. economy continues as the trade war unfolds. The U.S. decision to impose tariffs has been met with swift responses from its trading partners, raising the specter of a global trade war. China, a primary target of the U.S. tariffs, retaliated with its own tariffs on American goods. This move was seen as a calculated response to inflict economic pain on key U.S. industries. Beyond China, other major economies like the European Union, Canada, and Japan have also announced plans for countermeasures. The prospect of a trade war between the U.S. and its allies has raised concerns about the future of multilateralism. The escalating trade tensions are putting immense pressure on global supply chains. Businesses relying on the free flow of goods and services across borders face uncertainty and disruptions. This disruption is likely to lead to increased costs, production delays, and higher prices for consumers worldwide. The current trade dispute highlights the interconnectedness of the global economy and the risks of protectionist policies. As countries resort to tit-for-tat tariffs, the potential for a downward spiral in global trade increases. The situation underscores the need for dialogue and cooperation to resolve trade disputes and prevent further escalation. Protectionism, while intended to shield domestic industries, often comes with a hefty price tag. Higher tariffs can lead to increased costs for consumers and businesses, affecting competitiveness and economic stability. As countries navigate trade wars, alliances and partnerships are continuously evolving. Nations may seek new trade agreements to mitigate the impact of tariffs and secure alternative markets. This shifting landscape can lead to new economic blocs, reshaping the global trade network. The path ahead in global trade remains uncertain. As countries grapple with trade wars, the need for cooperation and dialogue becomes critical. The outcomes will shape the economic landscape, influencing everything from consumer prices to international relations.